look at where we will be playing for map number 2. Border does eventually get banned out there by TBD. That's a good ban. Consulate, though, will be the map where we end up. So, again, another pretty interesting map.
Look, guys, I'm going to say it. This is the best map that Homeless had against Fnatic last week. They may not have won any attacks, but boy, were there some close rounds on this, and that's against Fnatic. So hopefully TBD has something up their sleeve here, because this is a great map for Homeless. And, I mean, TBD did win it against Fury, but I think it's going to be a whole different ballgame here.
Well, we didn't have much faith in you guys at home for the last poll. Let's bring up the poll for map number 2 and see if there has been any changes. It's actually going to favour TBD a little bit more in map number 2, so I don't know, maybe you guys at home are expecting the bounce back, but still very strong support there for Homeless.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that either. I think after that first map performance, it's hard to state how well Homeless played. You can't go against that, really, and their form's just looking so good tonight. And if they can continue that into map 2, boy, it's an uphill battle for TBD.
Yeah, and coming into tonight, TBD had only played the 2 maps against Fury. One of those actually was Consulate. It was a 7-2 for them. So at least in really short-term form, they are looking quite strong. It was 4 attacks, 3 defenses that they won. Is that going to translate to Homeless, though? Do you get the impression that maybe Homeless are going to be a different beast to Fury?
I do, and also because they played it so freshly, Homeless have all that intel, they have a lot of support staff. They're going to be pretty strong in this map, I think.
Well, let's jump into map number 2. It will be Consulate. Homeless are attacking first on this occasion. The good luck have funs are coming out in chat, and TBD will be tasked with the first attacking ban. Anything in particular we're going to see ban-wise, I guess, coming out of that first map?
I'm still feeling like a Thatcher's going to be taken off the board because he was just too instrumental on the attacks. Nomad from TBD there is a strong ban on Consulate. There's a lot of flanks to watch, difficult to deal with, and Homeless are on attack first, so that's a pretty solid ban. Homeless are going to take off the Capitao, so Thatcher again in play here, guys.
Definitely an anomaly here in ANZ, but I can understand why Homeless kept him on the board, because on that last map, those EMPs were doing so much work for their team and really helping them gain ground early. Miro will once again be banned out on the defensive side, and expecting that to likely be followed up with either that Maestro or the Echo. Which one will it be? It'll be the Echo. It's always a pretty safe bet that one of those will be off the board.
Yes, so the standard and same defense bans as we saw in that last map. Homeless starting attack again. They did start attack on Border, and they started attack with gusto. They got 5 rounds, so they're in attacking form tonight. TBD are going to have to bring out some big strats and some great plays to be able to counter this, and this map is a chance for them to really revitalize after that that first map effort.
Cafeteria and Garage will be the first site that TBD will attempt to defend. And I am feeling a little bit nervous here for TBD. That attacking form on that map number 1 was incredibly strong. Consulate does play out quite differently though. It is a map that still has a little bit more wriggle room in the way that the meta is continuing to develop. But I think it's going to be up to TBD really to develop throughout this game. We saw that their defenses on Border became so stagnant. And Homeless, round after round after round, kept reading into it and playing the counter game really strong. So I'm really hoping that once TBD get on that defense, they will mix it up a little bit. They are on the defense. So the teams at the top, just ignore them for the meantime. We'll get those fixed up. Confused me for a second there.
Yeah, and I'm going to challenge TBD here because one thing I don't think we saw enough of them on Border was just some adaptation in their defenses. Some things that we saw not working out well that never really changed up. And if that starts to happen to them again on Consulate, that's going to be their doom, because I think Homeless is just looking too tidy for them to ignore adapting and just try to play a strat differently. I think they're going to have to keep it fresh in order Homeless have to then readapt to TBD. So that's the onus on TBD right now. They're going to have to be really trying hard to adapt to what Homeless is doing.
There we go. The overlay is updated, so definitely Homeless on the attack. Definitely TBD on the defense. Homeless looks so comfortable attacking Border. Interested to see how that will shift. It looks like they are playing this quite passive so far by Homeless standards. Gaining some nice control above, but not much in the fragging department required just yet.
No pressure made so far in this first minute, but they're droning out a lot of this map, making sure that it is vertically clear and there's no big roam on that top floor. Can be a real pain to deal with if there are roamers up there, but Homeless have cleared this quite well. They can start to push down now though, but Cutie is there in that public bathroom. That is a strong position that you may have to deal with. It's going to be up to Homeless to drone him out, but he is mute, so maybe drones won't quite make it there.
Dino still generating angles from above, using that secondary shotgun to full effect. Meanwhile, Arlo is going to head a drone in towards side and should gather some nice intel that most of these members are in and around the bomb site. Arlo looking to potentially get aggressive here. That forced vault will make things difficult if a player is watching yellow. Cootie is the only member of TBD that is holding above. Joker was mid spiral stairs, so it looks like there is a small roam coming out. If Homeless flushes out though, TBD could find themselves in a bit of trouble.
They can quite comfortably just hold this angle. Cutie can't really push out if it's being held at distance. He is playing with the shotgun. Could pull out the SMG-11, but not favourable at distance, especially against an IQ. So I think TBD playing this well so far. Very patient, and likewise with Homeless, very patient. They're not trying to push in to get that frag. Cutie is going to rotate around, try to bait out that push, but they're not biting so far. Arlo's just going to reposition. Stiggs is opening up that floor. They're really starting to move around these defenders, but no picks.
Juicy is still waiting outside the main wall with the diffuser, so keep an eye on him late round. He'll likely try and go for the plant. Dino gets jacked that up to open up proceedings, so that's Goyo off the board. Homeless now with about 35 seconds to play with. Mangoes does have a really nice evil eye there on the garage pillar, watching in towards that entry that has been opened. Ippy Styles gets one back, so that's Hayward off the board. That's an Ash taken out and won't be able to destroy any more of those shields. Juicy though, he's pushed into White. White Van is the place to plant, but he fakes it out. A little bit scared that he has been spotted out, potentially. Stiggs is there to cover, though, so if he re-attempts it, he should be able to get it down. Homeless are slowly running out of time, but Stiggs gets the pick, and now Juicy will get in towards sight. Ippy Style and Cutie get one, and Ippy Style actually gets his second. Dino now needs to push from behind, but he doesn't have time to collect the diffuser, and TBD, they'll play time. They're above, they're ready and waiting, and they will win the round. Homeless, so close, and I'm already starting to get flashbacks to that Fnatic game.
It was a great start, but they just didn't work any picks well enough, so TBD too comfortable on site there at the last moments. Yellow Stairs being the real linchpin, and once Ippy Style was able to take that, it was all over for Homeless. Maybe not watched well enough, or maybe the gunfight was lost. Either way, TBD start off with a great defense there. Gonna move up to the top floor here, which again, Yellow is gonna be a bit of a linchpin there if they want to push the CEO side. Could elect admin, we'll have to see how they decide to take it.
Console meeting. A strong site for the defenders. A key player to watch, of course, will be Mangoes on the smoke. He'll likely be holding the yellow stairs, and that's a position that, if gained by the attackers, can really help to head that attack. And it's a place where a lot of utility is usually used to clear them out. Again, thinking back to that Fnatic game, they were so efficient in using their utility. They used a lot of it, but they were able to get that pick on the smoke so early in the round, setting them up really nicely to take it. So it'll be interesting to see if Homeless go for that approach. It doesn't look like they have quite enough utility to deal with that though.
That really shows as well how Fnatic used that utility. The importance of Yellow Stairs in that push, it really is like the most critical spot that you have to clear. And maybe Homeless not going to clear it because, like you said, they don't have a whole lot of utility to be able to deal with that. They might be looking for this admin push. Either way, TBD, they're running that Mozzie Mute combo again, and they're really lacking the intel. They do at least have the Legion for a bit of intel here. But same situation, Valkyrie is up. Also commonly played on Consulate, especially for this top floor hole, getting some cams outside. But they're just really not doing it today, guys.
Saw a real lack of Valkyrie as well on Border, which is another map where those cameras are really well utilised. TBD, of course, not opting to bring that operator. IQ is going to be so strong by Arlo to clear out those goo mines, as you mentioned, which is taking away even more intel inside of TBD. Mangoes, as we mentioned, is holding Yellow Stairs. The rappel gets shut down, though. Ippy Style from below will completely take him out. So that's Jackal off the board. That's the pressure from Yellow depleted, and now Mangoes can sit there quite safely.
Yes, he can sit there quite safely. He's a little bit under pressure, but nothing dramatic enough for him to really decide to rotate away or to not be able to cause any issues. So Homeless a lot more stalled out on their attacks at Consulate. We did see them having issues with attacking Consulate last week against Fnatic. Usually it was late round, but so far the early round just seems to be quite slow. and not really having that kind of oomph to affect TBD.
Stiggs is droning out the main stairs currently. He's actually playing at the top of yellow. He's trying to flush out this play with assistance from Arlo. The nade comes out. It's perfectly timed. Mango's getting too aggressive, is shut down. And now Arlo will be able to head his attack. Juicy, meanwhile, gets one. And Homeless now have really flipped things their way.
I feel like because of the aggression of Ippy style, his teammates are trying to play off of that. But that was not a great call for Mango's to peek that.
Oh.
He had the control. He didn't have to give it up. Even that nade might have missed the target, but he was in the open. Homeless will have man advantage, but they don't have a whole lot of map control. And Ippy style is still freely walking around here. Could be the thorn in their side if they don't realize where he is. Again, the onus of flank watch, so important for Homeless here, as there is no nomad to deal with it. They don't have the gridlock. They will have to physically be watching these flanks.
Ippy style tries to flank up yellow. He hears Arlo above him and thinks better of it. He could try and set up for a run out, and there we go. Stiggs is taken out, and it's a 3-on-3. 40 seconds left now for Homeless to try and attempt the play, and Ippy Styles is freely left to re-attempt that run out. Hayward gets one though, and Arlo fails to watch the flank behind him as he pushes in towards site. Cutie is below, ready and waiting to deny the plant as Juicy will attempt it. But TBD, they likely don't have the intel here, so this play from them has fallen short, and now it's up for them to retake the site. Ippy Styles is at the top of Spiral. Cutie likely making his way up yellow. Ippy Styles has, I believe, been droned out. Don't think that was a Mozzie drone, and he's compromised. Cutie's going to go for the run out. He doesn't see anyone out there, and this round is basically gone for TBD as Ippy Styles gets dropped. Cutie's left all alone at the top of yellow, and Raven, I don't think he's going to win it.
Does find one, not looking in his direction, doesn't hit the shot though. Guz, and yes, it's a massive post-plant effort for him to try and get this. He does find one, but that is the time basically expired now, Guz.
Tries to pre-fire the first, doesn't hit the second, and Homeless will take the second round. A really strong late round performance from then. But the question is, why are TBD trying to deny the plant from below if they don't have intel? Because, I mean, maybe they did. They might have had a Mozzie drone in there. We don't see that. But it seemed to me like they didn't. Cutie had no impact in denying the plant, and then the retake was essentially impossible.
There's a chance he dropped below earlier when maybe they did have a Mozzie drone on there, but they could have cleared it out as they went for the plant, and therefore they then didn't have the intel. But I've got to agree, no Maestro, no Valkyrie. On-site intel that seems really important. We're finally seeing Cutie's 6-pick onto that Valkyrie. They're prioritizing some intel now. It could have been the difference there if they just had some camera, even if it's shot late, at least you know which site they're planting on. But at the end of the day, they didn't. And yeah, like you said, little effect from below. A great attack from Homeless in the end. Once they realized there was those players below, they just pushed deep. Good read. Now we're 1-1.
Order started out 1-1. You know how that turned out.
True.
Maybe we'll see Homeless show up again here and win, 4 attacks straight. Definitely not out of the realm of possibility considering they attack Order so ferociously. It seems like they may be getting stored out a little bit more on this map. Maybe it's the nature of Consulate. Maybe they're just a little bit less familiar on this map. They don't look yet quite as comfortable as they did on Border, but you could make the case that their start to Border was a little bit slow. So maybe they'll play into this map quite nicely. And TBD, they just need to continue stacking up these rounds and not letting Homeless get that early momentum.
One promising thing for TBD is that they have made this adaptation. We were very critical of them on Border. Their strats were very, very similar. This time they've made a change, and I think it's a fantastic change. It's something they were missing is that intel. We'll see if it makes an impact in this round. So far, Homeless are going to push the admin side though. So slightly different push to last time. Adaptation might not be effective then. Maybe they've just made this adaptation for a CEO push. Might not be effective on this side. Either way though, Homeless have made a change. So it's again this cat and mouse battle of who adapts quicker and who has the better adaptations.
Diffuser is in the hands of Juicy over towards admin, but Homeless do have a couple of members stacked over towards yellow. Mangoes almost hits that shot, but gets away, most importantly, with his life. The flash is being used to drain out the ADS. Oh my goodness. That was a pretty good nade there from Stiggs, but it wasn't quite enough to drop Mangoes. Gets him low on HP though, so if they can pressure Bathroom and get a couple shots on him, he should be taken down.
Definitely playing that position, what I'd say, is a little too aggressive. That's such a strong position to hold, and you don't want to be peeking it so early. It favors the attackers to be holding that angle. It's not an easy shot to hit with the SMG-11. Either way, though, Homeless are attacking this slightly different now. We have someone repelled upside down on meeting, trying to flush out these positions. is one player in there. It is Jackdad on the mute. He has a C4 in pocket, so he can pretty easily deny that balcony if someone does rappel onto it. They have decided to move away from that, though, not risking it. Cutie was sitting there in connector as well, so he could have chimed in to help out Jack Daddy. Either way, Homeless looking a little more lost, potentially. They're watching this flank nicely here as Dino is one that he's not aware of, though, and that was actually in the cupboard, it looked like there, Guz.
Did seem to be the case. That's Itby's style, I believe. He's now dropped hatch below, so he's a long way away from side. And Homeless, if they know that, they could go for a hard site push, as the rest of their members have rotated to the admin side. That's going to compromise Mango as well. That long peak will not favour him, particularly on low HP. Juicy, playing hard breach. As always, we've seen him on the hard breach so far on both maps. He's going to try and open this wall nice and quickly. The coverage from Arlo is there, but he falls off. It's now up to Homeless to open that wall and try and go for this execute.
Most important thing here is going to be the flank watch, and Stiggs does shut him down. Great flank watch from Homeless. Adaptation from them working perfectly. Ippy style had such impact in that last round. This time he will have 0 as Homeless are starting to close in on site. Jackdad has dropped below now, though. He could deny if they have more intel. Hayward is down there to cover. Jackdad will find Dino at least, and he's going to push back up the spiral stairs and try a retake.
Jack Daddy could be on for a big play here at the top of Spiralers with multiple players to his left, and Mangoes is slowing them down with his nades, but he gets taken down. Jack Daddy watches the cross, but misses his shots! Hayward shuts him down. Joker gets one back though, and the diffuser's down with 5 seconds left. Homeless are going to struggle to get this plane down, and Cutie lines them all up. They're wasting so much time. Can they drop Cutie? No! TBD will just hold on for the 3rd round, and Homeless, once again, we're so close.
They were so close, and look, there was a lot of mistakes from both teams there at the end. Maybe TBD just by the skin of their teeth holding on by time, but Homeless, they looked great. They made some great adaptations. They shut down those flanks. There was no way that there was going to be denial coming from below. Some missed shots again from TBD. We saw it on border. I believe it was Mangoes on the smoke missing those crucial shotgun shots in Fountain. Jackdad this time missing some crucial SMG 11 shots that could have been the round for Homeless. Either way, TBD have found their 2nd round now. They've doubled their round count from border, and it's looking a bit better for them, albeit still a bit messy.
Cutie was the last one alive there, wasn't he? Was the other defender down at bathroom door, or was that
so,
the
yeah.
home? Yeah, so it was effectively like what, a 1-on-2, 1-on-3 in the end, and they only just like narrowly missed Cutie. He's just like dodging bullets like Neo. That was so close. So frustrating as well. If they had the diffuser in hand, there would have been a decent chance at least trying to get the plant. This wasn't going to be.
Well, in that final cam, we did see the IQ running through a meeting around near the hatch, so you have to think that's the diffuser in his hands. Maybe not feeling safe enough to stick it. Not sure whether that connector player was still there or not. Either way, that was probably a crucial refrag they didn't get, was that player in connector. I believe it was Joker on the Legion. So he's managed to win the round for his team, and they're going to change site. They're back down in Garage. Worked out pretty well for them last time on a pretty solid round from Ippy style. Managed to take yellow stairs, being super critical. To see what adaptations Homeless made, because they made some great adaptations in that last round.
On the topic of Itby styles, he got completely shut down in that last round.
Did.
Stiggs with some really nice flank watch, and it's a point that we keep sort of insisting on, that Homeless, their flank watch. Doesn't quite go hand in hand, but these 2 maps so far are really proving us wrong, or it has been quite strong. It's got to tidy up a little bit on those executes. But again, Consulate is, you know, a 50-50 map, so they're not really trailing behind by much. It's only that 1-round deficit. Plenty of time for them to get back into this game, and we've seen TBD slip up so far tonight. If they do it again, Homeless should be ready to capitalize.
As you said, it is another balanced map, and Homeless, they started on defense last week against Fnatic. They managed to get 3 rounds, and that's where it stopped. If they managed to get a couple of rounds here on their attack phase.
Wait, was that a pre-fire through the door? I think it was. That was, okay.
Timing.
You don't need flank watch if you just kill them through walls early in the round.
Timing out of 10.
Yeah.
I definitely just feel though at this stage, if Homeless do get a couple of extra attacker rounds compared to last week, they looked really confident on defenses. I think that's going to be quite scary for TBD to tackle. Massive emphasis on TBD closing out at least 4 of these defenses, I've got to say.
Already approaching the halfway point of this round. The time has really ticked down fast, and Homeless have gained control of the top floor, looking to gain control of the first floor, which will help mount their attack. And help them generate some verticality. And talking about verticality, Dino is holding a really long angle down towards where Jack Daddy is positioned. Don't think he has line of sight though, so he'll be safe. In the meantime, Cutie though with the flank, he misses those shots, and Arlo, he shakes his head after that. Lucky to get away with his life, but TBD now at a significant disadvantage.
Some more missed shots again, Guz. I called it out, and it seems to be the SAS operators missing. It was the smoke on border, Jack Daddy before is the mute, and now Cutie is the mute. Some really important shots. I'm surprised he didn't take that engagement with the shotgun. He would have heard those footsteps were closer. Shotgun 10 out of 10 is going to win that engagement. But anyway, pushing on here. Homeless have some map control now. TBD pushed back. They're going to have to hold their angles as Homeless prepare for the execute. Jack Daddy will finally find one now, Guz. 30 seconds, and Homeless are looking pretty prepared for this execute.
Lucy is once again outside the breach, almost gets taken out by Mangoes, who has given away his position next to the yellow pillar. Jack Daddy comes across to assist, and Juicy needs to try and find himself in safety, try and find refuge behind that white van, and he does. Mangoes falls off the angle, the C4 comes out from Jack Dad. He's still not dead. Juicy will re-attempt the plant, but the coverage isn't there for Homeless. No, he gets taken out, and Joker's now left alone. Stiggs needs to recover the diffuser and goes for the plant. Hayward is the sole player to watch the flank. He doesn't get the kill though, and Joker should be able to clean it up. Surely he will. Oh, Stiggs almost gets off it in time. Oh, Joker giving me a heart attack. He gets the quad. He'll be able to counter diffuse it. Oh, if Stiggs hit that shot, oh, I would have been done. Oh my goodness.
You're telling me. I could see it coming, guys. I could see it, but no, Joker will close it out. He managed to get a quad kill on that round. Solid retake from TBD. Homeless just didn't quite have the depth to be able to cover that push, that denial. Really big oversight, not watching side of white. Such a common place to rush to deny. I think that player that was outside breach. Yeah, I think he was reloading. So timing, again, working out in TBD's favor. They're on 3 rounds now, so they can at least keep this round even at worst. Was in reload.
That was so unfortunate. Joker, what a shot there onto Hayward. Hayward just got completely shut down, and then Joker. That was so good. Stiggs will insist that he looked at him and shot his head. I guarantee he's in that voice chat. He would have been like, I shot him. That's ridiculous.
It would have been that classic situation where you would have died just as you clicked or something.
Yeah.
Like just before it. Well, TBD will have another round in their pocket. They're going to hold lobby press room now. We haven't seen this out of them. I saw a vigil there, guys, so that's going to take some time to be droned out. It's Jack Daddy, in fact, on the vigil.
Yeah, this is a big role change up from TBD. We've seen Ippy Style playing a heavy roam on the Jaeger. He's not playing Jaeger on this occasion. He's actually playing Doc.
So Doc roam, is that what you're saying? Doc roam.
Doc roam. Yep, let's go. I mean, you were making fun of them playing ranked on border or whatever before, weren't you?
Oh, that was Homeless. That's about.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe TBD, man. They've been on that rank grind.
Could be, yeah, could be.
We all know that the Doc roam is basically the undefeatable strat in ranked. Like, if you are a roaming Doc, you cannot die.
Basically. Spawn peak, maybe. You might see a
I hope
spawn
so.
peak come out of him.
Please, that would be funny. Especially after that last round. I think that would play an actual significant mind game on Homeless. That would be pretty frustrating.
True, and you know what? I think that would be a great thing for TBD to actually try and do. If they can play some mind games with Homeless, can definitely cement the momentum being in their favor, because right now it probably is. You could definitely say momentum is in TBD's favor. The rounds have been close though. It's the same situation as against Fnatic, in fact. Homeless have had some pretty good attacks, just not able to close them out. Small things again.
Homeless so far have avoided the spawn peaks that potentially came out from TBD. Now rappelling in towards the site. Looking to gain that control from above once again. It looks like there may be a couple of defenders above to try and hold that. It'll be Ippy Style and Joker. Ippy Style in a very compromised position behind the couch. If he doesn't get a kill here, he's likely going to die.
It's going to come down to the intel from Homeless, this attacking intel on the drones. Jack Daddy just completely ignored so far on that bottom floor. They're really going to hard push out this roam. That what
Dino!
A beautiful wall bang from Dino.
Oh my!
That opens the card and it's roam.
Okay, TBD, the roam, border flashbacks. It's not working.
Oof.
Oh wow. Okay, Jack Dad is now left alone below, and the site is very exposed. Homeless should be able to win this round. Please finish it off. Don't throw.
That roam just not working out at all. Beautifully shut down by Homeless off the back of some great entry frags there. Dino and Stiggs combining for that. And now they've got a lot of time to start working site here. Jack Daddy is still off, so it is only 2 players on site. Mango is on the Maestro though, can control his evil eyes. Cutie is hiding in quite a strange spot in this cupboard. Can open hatch below to drop down if he's under pressure, but that would mean there's only 1 on site. So it could be the option that Homeless go for. If they just push him out, they've got pure lobby control.
If Homeless drone this effectively, they should be in a great position, and Hayward sees the player drop the hatch, and surely they can now aggress towards the site. Jack Daddy, he's trying to flank up main. Looks like Cutie was heading towards yellow, and Homeless will now go for the default plant at the double doors. By the looks of things, Jack Daddy is in a position to wide swing and deny it, but a fantastic smoke from Homeless will shut down that angle. There is an evil eye to the right of the default plant, though they need to be mindful of that. Juicy is attempting to plant. Mangoes needs to try and wide swing and get the diffuser down, but he can't. He gets one onto Dino, doesn't get the second shot though, and now Cutie left on those yellow stairs will need to try and salvage the round.
That evil eye potentially not being able to get a ping out. He would have been able to pre-fire that smoke from inside the smoke, but either way, he was shut down. Speaking of shut down, Homeless shut it out.
I know we're referencing this Fnatic game quite a bit from the other week, but that was actually quite similar to how they lost it previously. When they had the man advantage, they then tried to flush out the roamers. This time though, they took our advice. They must have, you know, it's alright guys, we'll give you that free advice. They just headed straight towards the default plant. It looked a little bit dicey when the Maestro wide peaked, but they shut it down, got the round, and now then this was not looking as bad.
No, and I agree. That was a great call to just push to the lobby and get that plant down. That evil eye could have been their undoing, but it wasn't. So great play from Homeless. They've got 2 attacks now on Consulate. So again, more attacks than they got last week. In fact, it's 2 extra because they didn't win any attacks on Consulate last week. So looking pretty good here. And I've got to say, if they manage to get this round, I'm going to start to really heavily favour Homeless to take the map because their defenses looked really strong last week. We just haven't seen good coordination from TBD on attacks tonight, albeit that was border.
We just go back to that wallbang on bathroom. What was that? Like, I don't know. Did the ping come out like right as he shot? I feel like he just blind shot and then the ping came out.
I think the ping came out, and then they said,
"Oh, here we go."
Still there. So he got.
Oh
pinged.
my god, that's nuts.
So I gotta say, I reckon he was on drone. They pinged, and they said,
"Oh, the slow
hasn't moved." So you can just pre-fire that same spot.
I think it was a fair shot headshot as well.
It
That's
was
pretty cool.
It was a great shot from Dino. There's definitely no taking away from that. Some great teamwork as well using the drone, really effectively for Homeless.
TBD haven't been having a lot of luck with their vertical holds so far. Because Ippy Styles, who was also above, got shut down almost straight away, having no impact. And on border, when they were trying to hold those downstairs sites, they were holding above so heavy. Homeless were just completely tearing it apart. So that trend definitely continuing here on Consulate.
Well, especially once that player was shut out in around that private bathroom, he was totally exposed to yellow stairs. He had to move. Stick was holding his angle from CEO. It's perfectly executed. So far, though, they haven't made a whole lot of progress. They're on the windows here, trying to push them around. Means TBD aren't going to be as comfortable on site nice and early. So if Homeless do get these early picks, big change compared to the last time they attacked top floor. It was really their downfall last time.
Interestingly enough, Homeless not bringing Zofia to try and clear out yellow once again, instead relying on Stiggs with his nades. Dino's on the bathroom window, doesn't see the player cross there, I don't think, so that was a little bit unfortunate for him. TBD have a stronghold. Mangoes, where was that, mate? That is Stiggs deleted. I think he was on the yellow skylight. That is unfortunate. So yellow has been forfeited by Homeless. Ippy Styles still allowed to flank now, and that's a devastating loss for the attackers.
I'm surprised that Stiggs was sticking his head over that balcony or over that skylight, because Mangoes, every time he's held yellow, he has peaked that, and it was almost always at the 2-minute mark, almost religiously. Either way, a nice shot from Mangoes to finally hit it. It's the risky play that never really worked out for him, but this time it has. It's going to make it a lot harder to flush him out. They also now don't have the vertical play of that buck. They're going to have to work a lot harder to take this. We're seeing a lot of time to be burned out. Now Hayward just repels straight through. The Goon Mine will cause a lot of effect on him. He's not able to get the second frag. That Legion, though, may be a little aggressive onto Dino. Hayward can be salvaged here. He is only down. He is not actually out of the game yet.
Cutie will fall below and could deny the plant with that C4. Dino tries to potentially bait a pickup, but Arlo's already watching that from below, so that should be covered. There we go. The res comes out, but the C4 from Cutie will turn it into a 3-on-3. He doesn't know there's a player to his left, though. Surely Arlo shuts this down. Yes, there we go. He'll get it eventually. And now Jackdad and Ippy Style are left in a 2-on-1. Jackdad, he hits a nice shot with the SMG. Drops the diffuser at the main windows, and now he's left on the softball. Ippy Styles will reveal his position by taking down that barricade on Spiral. But Homeless unable to really capitalize on that intel. Ippy Styles knows there's a player behind the shield, but still loses the gunfight. Hayward gets that one, and now Jackdad is left in a 2-on-1. Short range with the shotgun. He gets one. That's the double. Can he get the last kill? If he gets this kill, TBD will secure the round. He is low on HP. Surely Arlo knows where he's positioned, and he pre-fires it, but no! Jackdad with the 3K will win the round for his team. Such a strong play from him.
Really well played from him, and a misplay from Homeless. They had 2 up versus Jackdad. They should have waited to be able to push together. 1 pinch through Con, 1 pinch through the double door. Refrag it out, but they just pushed 1 by 1, and Jackdad played it perfectly. He played very patient. It's the experience of a player like Jackdad to close it out, and look, that's the pass mark I said for TBD. If they want to get a good defense half, they need the 4 rounds, because I think Homeless are going to come at them with a strong defense. And now they've got the 4 rounds behind them, so they just need 2 rounds to be able to secure at least a point.
So unfortunate that Homeless didn't have the intel to just wallbang that position late. Not the most difficult wallbang going around, and it was definitely more favourable than taking on that shotgun at such close range. It was unfortunate for them. I think the big turning point of that round was Jackdady's aggression in Con. Despite that wall being open, he backed himself to get that kill onto Juicy. And once that diffuser was down, Homeless had no time to go and try and reattempt that repel or have much time to really formulate a nice response and try and pre-frag that. They were sort of a little bit caught off guard and didn't have time. Just went straight through the door, and Jackdad just completely mowed them down.
It's another small thing, guys, just that plant decision. He could have repelled in and planted basically in that line of sight that's between the windows and the bomb, where Jackdad would have had to push deeper to actually frag him out. They had that player in private bathroom. He could have held from yellow and held that cross. Would have been able to get that frag. Again, just a really small thing that just enabled TBD to be able to clutch that out. Seems to be the tale of Homeless and their attacks on Consulate. What will be the tale of Homeless and their defenses on Consulate, though? Last week we saw them get 3 against Fnatic. Let's see what they get against TBD this week.
Name a more iconic duo than Stigs and Valk, I dare you. Using those cameras to full effect. TBD used Valkyrie a little bit. Took him a bit to finally go, oh yeah, maybe we'll bring some more intel. Homeless though, jumping straight onto that bandwagon. 3 intel gathering operators as well. So they've got the Valkyrie, the Maestro, and the Mozzie. So Homeless shouldn't be short of intel this round.
I think that's so important for a top floor defense, because you want that option to be able to rotate below and to be able to deny. And you don't even have to have the C4 or a shotgun. If you've got that on-site intel, you can be anybody. You just shoot through the floor. So I really like that. The only soft breach that TBD can really utilize to clear those evil eyes is the Buck and the Ash. Pretty easy to shut those players down. The Buck is going to have to be bucking out other things, potentially below, maybe using his nades for other stuff. So it's going to have to be on the Ash. Traditionally the aggressive player. He could be fragged out early. Those evil eyes really could come back and bite TBD in the tail if they don't deal with it early.
Hayward, he's holding the meeting desk. There is a player repelled upside down on the balcony. He is aware of that. He's monitoring that angle quite carefully. It is Cutie there with the diffuser, so it does look like TBD are prepping for a jump in through the window to try and get the plant down, which is risky, but if they gain nice control in and around admin, it's definitely possible.
Definitely already surrounded that position. And Dino, though, will get the first pick. It's the IQ, meaning that there's a lot of intel that might not have got spotted on site. Ooh. Dino might be able to get that shot onto Cutie on the balcony. He doesn't quite see it. Cutie is prone now, though, so he can't get that shot. Cutie trying to get his drone in, get this intel. They're going to have to flush out these positions if they got any chance of getting this plant down. Cutie's going to try and take some shots. Not really hitting any here. Guz as the final minute starts.
More droning coming out from Homeless as they try and work out where these players are located. Cutie still with the diffuser in hand, and if Homeless become aware of that, or at least drop it, that's going to make things incredibly challenging for TBD. Hayward is still holding this position. Dino to assist, but the con angle doesn't quite shut him down. The shot's not quite landing, and Hayward gets away with his life. But his flank watch in Dino has been taken down. He now needs to do it all himself. That smoke is inflicting damage. Oh my goodness, Arlo with the team killer now. It is a 3-on-4. Make that a 2-on-4. 30 seconds left on the board. Arlo and Juicy, they need to clutch it up. But now it's just Juicy left alone with the older and a dream. 20 seconds left on the board to Deny, and TBD should be able to plant quite safely in towards the balcony. They seem to know where this player is. Juicy with the pre-fire lights up that player pushing in, but it's not quite enough, and as he pushes into Con, TBD will shut him down, and Homeless maybe not looking as good so far compared to that Fnatic game.
First things first, that is a great smoke placement in the rotate and not in the connected door, which a lot of teams will do. If you do it nice and deep like that, you can shoot them as they pop out. They can't see you. They're super exposed straight away. The danger of smoking the connected door is that the defender can actually push into the smoke. They're still somewhat safe. There's the chance they can get that freak shot onto the plant to deny it. So great use of utility. The other thing, oh man, that smoke, that team smoke, basically cost Homeless that round. That Mozzie was holding strong in meeting. I think it was Hayward. He might have been able to get a couple of picks from that in that final rush moment. And that smoke made him have to move. In fact, he just died because he was stuck in it. So again, these simple things for Homeless, small things. They had a great round. They'd shut it out, and then that just opened it up.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Homeless will reassess their options and head down below now, opting against reattempting the site, which many teams are starting to trend against, instead opting to really open up their options and explore the rest of the map. It does appear like Homeless will be holding above in similar fashion to TBD, reinforcing the bathroom, likely sitting a player with a shotgun in that position. It'll probably be Hayward. He's playing the mute with that shotgun SMG combo. Arlo as well, but I'm expecting him to probably smoke outside. It's interesting to see who they play up there, but maybe they'll all play up there, as Homeless only have the one player down below at the moment.
Really looking forward to what they use the Goyo for. I love seeing Goyo strats, and I love seeing the variation and how they're used, whether it's to slow down a push through a breach, whether it's just a common plant spot they can use for denial. Either way, it does create some kind of stall point. It's something that the soft breach will have to clear nice and early, or you have to maybe get a vertical angle to shoot the pack on the back. Either way, I'm really enjoying the variations, and if Homeless can use that effectively, that could be the stall point that stops TBD from getting this round. So far, some good droning upstairs to try and get this roam clear. Could be something that Homeless use their advantage. They've been very slippery before in their roams.
Hippie Styles on entry, running the G36C with the ACOG. An interesting combination. Dino has been droned out potentially, but he had his Vigil scanner, so they may not know exactly where he is. Hippie Styles misses the shot, gets lit up by the flame. Dino taken out eventually as well. Would have been burnt. Oh, he actually was in the end, so Cutie secures that kill. A nice pinch from TBD as Dino is left as a charred mess on the floor.
I liked the use of the Goyos on the roam. In fact, it almost worked out perfectly for Dino as he was leaving connector. He shot that, and look how much it tagged up Ippy Style. Didn't hit a bullet, he just hit that shield. Speaking of Ippy Style, though, he has found another on the roam. It's not really working out for Homeless. There's still so much time for this attack for TBD. It's looking pretty good for them.
Hayward is still inside a bathroom. Could be in a worse position. Hasn't quite popped the hatch yet. He can pop that late for the rotate, as the rest of TBD try and mount this attack. Oh, Jack, no! No, shut down the stream! Jack,
Oh no.
I can't. Raven, you take, I need a break.
No, look, that was awesome.
For Homeless.
Unfortunate for Jack Dad, he's going to have to just hold that with his scope now instead of a claymore. And there's a minute now. Not a whole lot happened in that last 30 to 40 seconds, guys. TBD just trying to be a bit careful setting up their flank watch and just be, you know, just a little more thorough. But one thing I'm really noticing here is this garage wall still isn't open. They've got Mangoes out the front waiting to breach it open, and they're still bucking to clear those bandits, but they haven't been cleared. If they don't clear this quick enough, it's not going to matter if Mangoes is out there. He's not going to have time to get in and plant. He's the one with Diffuser. So if TBD can slow that down, which I don't think they're going to be able to thanks to that vertical control.
Ooh. Okay, Hayward gets one. Ippy Styles gets one on the flank watch, I believe. So it leaves it in a 2-on-4. Definitely winnable still for TBD as the wall gets open. But no, the diffuser gets dropped, and this is dangerous now for TBD. It is a 1-on-4, but the diffuser's dropped with not long to go. But the refrag does come out, and TBD win 2 attacks straight.
Yeah, Arlo getting a little too antsy there. He had a good position at white. Definitely could have been pushed on, but he would have killed time. Might have had the chance to take some 1v1s there, but decided to push. Didn't work out for him. Got to hand it to TBD, though. Their room clear was fantastic at that top floor. Gave them a lot of time with a big man advantage. Could have come undone, but either way, they're now 6-2 up, guys. They're on match point. They've secured themselves at least 1 point for tonight. They're going to be hunting 3, though, and they're going to have to ward off Homeless for maximum 4 rounds.
I now know why Jack Daddy deliberately destroyed his claymore there, and I'll tell you why. They left Jack Dad there to watch the flank. They're just padding his stats out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just give him a kill. Don't need a claymore. It's overrated.
Yeah, maybe, guys. Maybe.
I'm sure he'll be going with that anyway.
I'm sure.
Yeah, that was pretty sad. that poor claymore did nothing wrong.
To locate and defuse as many
got
bombs as they
yeeted.
I'm
can.
seeing a warden here, though, from Dino. Interesting, considering it's Teller's archives. Haven't seen a whole lot of warden play on this site. Usually you
haven't seen a whole lot of warden in general, really.
Yes, he's very situational, and the situations you normally see warden in are really tight spaces that you usually have to flush out with flashes or concussions. To see him on this side, wondering what tight space he might be trying to hold. Could be the lower spiral stairs towards lockers. Interesting flush out position. We actually saw some fantastic pulse plays from Fox A and NA, getting an ace, just basically playing around that stairwell. It's definitely a strong position.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what this warden does.
Attackers' objective is to
Well, it's pretty
locate
much
a
do or
bomb
die
and
now
defuse it.
for Homeless. They need to start getting rounds now. If they lose this, of course, TBD are going to win the map in a fashion that on the scoreline is actually almost the complete opposite to what we saw in map 1. But it just, I hate saying this, and it's really lazy analysis, but it doesn't quite feel like TBD have been quite as dominant. They have been very dominant. Maybe not quite as dominant, though. I feel like it's been a little bit more balanced. I think Homeless in the last couple of rounds have really been throwing rounds away, but before that, it was really close.
Yeah, Homeless have been playing pretty well. What I find really ironic tonight is that we were critical about their attacks in Consulate last week. They looked great on defense. And it's kind of been the opposite tonight. They looked pretty good on the attacks, a lot of close attacks. They got 2 attacks. And here on defense, they haven't won any yet. Of 2 rounds, they've won 0 attacks. So it's really flipped for them tonight. Maybe they worked too hard on those attack skills and their defense has suffered. I don't think that's the case, but either way, TBD have looked pretty good on Consulate. They've been challenged, but in the end, a 6-2 scoreline somewhat speaks for itself.
Definitely a great scoreline considering that they got smacked on map number 1. So to come back from that really shows that their mental game is quite strong, because if you lose by so much in that first map with that APAC format, that can easily transition to a poor map number 2. So to recover is a really good sign for them,
Bomb
and
located by
should
attacker.
bode well for them for the rest of the season.
That being said, half the round has slipped away here. No engagements at all, so TBD just taking their time to get the map control required. A lot of intel here for Homeless, especially with that pulse Juicy is playing. Scanning that next floor up that is being droned out, and actually it's not being held at all, so Homeless really playing that retake strat. Arlo has been tagged up quite heavy now. But again, that map control, it's only like the top floor that TBD have, and that's not really going to help them a whole lot for that plant. They have to do something about these players below, otherwise it can be denied pretty easily.
Arlo is running the shotgun 8-cog, holding this angle that these 2 players will just run past, but they get away with it. Arlo doesn't fire in response, and Jack Dad has found his way into sight. The pulse is below. He's trying to light him up, but Mangoes will attempt the plant above. Thinks better of it. Juicy will deny it. That's a misplay from TBD. Jack Daddy doesn't shut down the pulse, and he makes them pay. 40 seconds left, and Homeless is still holding on.
Jack Dad also now has the diffuser, so he can't scan for the pulse. He's going to get this plant down. This is a big oversight from TBD. That plant is stuck. That's huge. Homeless, what are you doing? You're sleeping on the plant. Guys, that could be their undoing.
Hippie Styles makes it even harder for the retake as he gets one. Juicy, he'll get his double dose. It's definitely not unwinnable for Homeless, but that diffuser, it's ticking down so fast. Juicy continues to play below to try and gain intel for his 2 teammates above. That's Hayward and Stiggs, but it looks like they've already got second floor control. Joker, he gets a critical shot there onto Stiggs, so it's a 2-on-2. Hayward's attempting the counter diffuser. Do they know? It looks like Hippie Styles has seen his head. He gets one, gets the second, and TBD will take round number 9 and win map number 2 in the process.
They looked pretty good on that map, guys. They were challenged, but they came out on top. So really well played from TBD. Ippy Star with some aggressive plays. top out the scoreboard for his teammate. We saw a lot of frags on Jaeger, quite a few on the Ash as well, so really just playing the comfort picks there.
Definitely a series of two sides. Map number 1, a 7-1 in favor of Homeless on Border. TBD just nothing in response. Then we go to map number 2, Consulate, a 7-2 in favor of the other team, TBD taking that map. A lot of those rounds were a lot closer than map number 1, but Homeless just making so many little mistakes that really added up and just sort of compounded. Is that a case of TBD bouncing back really strong, or was it really down to Homeless just making these silly mistakes?
I've got to say it's a mixture. TBD definitely looked a lot cleaner on that than Border. They just had some nice plays. They adapted better. On the other hand, though, as you said, Homeless did have some mistakes, and it did feel like there was a big patch there. It really felt like we were just round after round repeating these small mistakes from Homeless, these little things overlooked that were costing them rounds again. So I'm sure when we interview Stigs, he's not going to be happy about that. Definitely after Consulate last week, they were pretty down on themselves about their performance against Fnatic, and I think they're going to feel the same. They did get a strong map win on Border, though, at least, so that's one positive for them, 3 points on the board there. On the other hand, TBD, probably the same, but conversely, I'm still curious about this Border thing, whether that was really meant to get through the veto or whether that was just an oversight.
And I made the call after map number 1. Don't take Homeless to Border. Is it fair on the flip side to say don't take TBD to Consulate? Is that actually a fair assessment?
Well, they looked pretty good on that, and they looked pretty strong against Fury on it as well. So far, yeah, that's fair to say. There might be teams out there, for example, Fnatic, they looked pretty good on Consulate as well. They might be happy to call that. That's going to be up to their analysis. But at least for TBD so far, Consulate seems to be their better map. They've got 2 wins on it now.
Yeah, and I guess going back to Homeless, we keep mentioning that they're making small mistakes. From your point of view, are there any mistakes in particular that you can sort of hone in on? And if there are, what do they need to do to try and fix these? Because from our point of view, it looks quite evident. Of course, when you're playing in a stressful environment, those things are always really, really hard not to fall back on. What do Homeless need to do to try and really shake up their attacks on that map?
It's hard to pinpoint one thing. I don't think it's really one thing, because for example, one of the small mistakes was literally that round on defense where the smoked his teammate and ended up killing his teammate that was in the critical position in meeting. That was the round, basically. Things like that you can't VOD and fix. That's just simply the smoke player has to work better and maybe hitting their smokes. Regardless, they've just got to go through their VODs, figure out what's going on, and then just grind it out in scrims, try and be tidier. It really is more of an experience thing, I'd say. Teams that have been together for a long time, that have been through this over and over, you start to see less of those kinds of mistakes. So I'd say that's kind of more the issue here with Homeless, is it's an experience thing. They've just got to go through their paces. This is their first season in Pro League. This has happened to a lot of teams that are at the top end. Wildcard, for example, when they were fighting for the top position, they used to have small mistakes. It happens to all those teams. Eventually you get there, they just got to keep at it.
And I think it would be fair to say that many people, myself included, going into this season, predicted TBD and Homeless to finish around a similar sort of mid-table position. Do you think that we can really separate these teams now? I mean, they've just won a map each with pretty similar scorelines.
Yeah.
Does that mean that maybe we'll see them finish neck and neck in the standings later in the season?
Yeah, we could do. There's a lot of other teams that they're going to be battling out with that mid-range 4. But at least head-to-head, Homeless are now going to have that by 1 round because they won Border 7-1 as opposed to losing 7-2. So if it does come to literal neck-and-neck in points, Homeless will get that jump on TBD. But they definitely look very similar in skill. That mid-range battle in the ANZ Pro League is going to be very interesting.
Well, we do have Stigs from Homeless ready and waiting on the line, so let's have a chat. G'day Stigs, hope you're going alright mate. Congratulations for the result on map number 1. Unfortunately, Consulate didn't quite go your way. How are you guys feeling?
We're pretty disappointed again for that map 2. Our map 1 was flawless pretty much. We were communicating and working out like what they were doing so well with our drone work and adapting. But map 2, we just made way too many mistakes, and that really bit us in the end.
One thing I want to ask is about Juicy. We saw him subbing in for Strider. Do you feel like that had an effect on how the matches played out?
I don't think it played a massive effect. They're very similar players. I think it honestly just came down to small mistakes individually from us. Not so much as a team, it was just individual mistakes from different players, including myself.
And on Consulate last week, we grilled you about your attacks. This week you managed to win 2, and you looked pretty good on attack on Consulate. Defense was the one that kind of slipped away. Is there something in particular on defense this week that you guys were challenged with?
I think it was like we definitely knew what TBD were doing, and it just comes back to making those small mistakes that break those rounds. We could have honestly finished probably a 3-2 or a 4-2 half in our favor, or a 3-3, sorry, rather. But yeah, those mistakes just really killed us.
Before we wrap things up, you guys in the community poll tonight had some really strong support, a lot of Homeless fans out there. Is there anything you'd like to say to them before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I'd like to just thank you all. Our team, we appreciate the support so much. We're really trying hard to improve ourselves and trying to gain as much experience as we can. So yeah, we'll just continue to try and do that and make you guys proud.
Awesome. Thanks, Stiggs. We'll catch you next time. All the best.
Thanks so much, guys. Good night.
Yikes.
Yeah, he definitely seemed very disappointed with himself and with the team. That's unfortunate because they had such a great first map. I was looking forward to having like a really upbeat review maybe, but...
A wholesome. It would have been a wholesome.
Yes.
They were still kind of wholesome.
Keyword. It was. It's very clear that they know what's going wrong, which must be very frustrating for them. It's always frustrating if you know what's going wrong, but you're just struggling to get on top of it. Either way, though, I think that sounds promising for their fans, that they really are aware. They're trying to work really hard on fixing it. Maybe by the end of the season, we'll start to see some tighter gameplay from them. Yeah,
I really liked your question as well about Juicy, because he would have had some impact, whether it be small or quite large, on how that team operated. It did seem like, at least on attack, they were just keeping him on the hard breach, playing him nice and safe. He was going for the plants. He did have a decent impact.
Yeah.
Would it have been different with Hayward, though, do you think? Because Strider. Because you did mention that they are quite similar players. Or
yeah.
Stiggs mentioned that they're quite similar players.
Yeah, they are similar players. I think the big thing that separates them, though, is Strider has a lot more comp experience than Juicy. There's a couple of things that I noticed, which I believe was Juicy on the hard breach, that just might have been the key difference. One thing was the plant in CEO that Jack Dad ended up clutching out. Juicy was the one that ran around the bomb and tried to go deep to the desk. He put himself in that line of sight. Maybe a more experienced player like Strider might have thought, I'm just not going to expose myself to other angles, I'll plant here. Small things like that, again, could have made the difference, but we'll never know.
Well, we do have the victors of map number 2 on the line. It will be Ippy Style from TBD. Let's bring it up. Ippy Style, how you going, mate? Congratulations for the victory on map number 2. Map number 1 didn't quite go your way. How are you guys feeling after that matchup?
As you could see, map 1, that was pretty fucking not good. Not good, was it?
Yeah.
Can't take anything away from them. They just smashed us in an assault like one-on-ones. They just, every round on our defense, they just took fights and smashed us.
Yeah, one thing I really want to ask Ippy Style is the veto. Was bought a plan, or was that something that kind of just came up?
Nah.
Okay.
we had the two choices that came between, I won't say the other map, but border was the second option, and we're like, they banned it all of last season. Should be sweet. Wasn't sweet.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely didn't seem like that was a map that you guys were expecting.
Especially like the Goyo and Frost strat that they had holding inside of break room. That is innovative as hell. That was wild. Really, really well done from them.
Yeah, it's definitely something we talked a lot about on the broadcast. One thing I do want to touch about on Consulate is you guys really seem strong with your attacks, which is kind of converse to what we've seen so far in Consulates. Is it something you guys have consciously worked on, is your Consulate attacks?
So, like, going into it as well, like I said last time, which is, I can't say the same excuse over and over, but so border is the very bottom of what we've practiced, followed by Villa. Like, in the time that we've been practicing other maps during like the last week and a half, whatever it's been since our last game. So we really weren't expecting that border game to come up.
Well, you guys, of course, recently departed from Mind Freak. You guys now looking for an org. Is there anything you'd like to say as we wrap things up to anyone out there looking to pick up a team?
The border game didn't happen. Consulate was the game of the night. No, but that's it. Thanks to all the fans that watch us.
All right, we'll leave it at that. All the best.
Thanks, boys.
Boarded. Didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty sure that it wasn't going to happen either. It definitely looked evident they just were not prepared for that at all. So some nice outfoxing there from Homeless. That's a good lesson to people at home about how strong map vetoes can be won and lost simply before the game starts.
Full respect there to Ippy Style talking about how innovative that strat was
Yeah.
at break, and we were mentioning it like,
Yep.
what was that? Like, it was so weird. It was really not expected, and it threw them off. He mentioned it, that innovation can throw off a team, particularly on border. It's the one map where we see the least innovation, and for Homeless to come out with that was pretty crazy.
It goes to show as well, once a new operator comes into Pro League, it can change things, and if teams are willing to try